So here I am warming up on the bike. I've decided to warm up today because my quads are a little tight, and I recommend this for most people anyway, 5 minutes on the bike before you start doing anything to do with the legs especially, just because it helps get the blood flow to the area, carry nutrients to the area, helps reduce knots and trigger points. You know, once you get that blood flow in there, sometimes it helps release any sort of knots and tightness you have in there, and that helps range of motion. And this is a friend of mine, he's also riding the bike here, Joel McCain. He owns Blacksmith Fitness, and he's a great trainer. He competes in powerlifting, and he's learned a tremendous amount over the last few years because he's had to rehab injury from a bike accident. Ultimately, you know, it's part of the sport. You know, sometimes we're getting injured in the gym or outside the gym, but you learn more from getting injured than you do from having pure success. You know, the crappiest trainers I ever met in my life were the guys that were genetically so gifted that it didn't matter what they did not get injured. You know, I knew guys that would round their back and deadlift as much as they can from the floor and train 5 days a week like that and not tweak anything. Of course, their physiques were horrible in some other ways, so genetically they might be deficient in one way, but they were extremely, I guess you could call them part ogre or Viking in some way. They just did not get injured from lifting extreme heavy weight and lifting it the wrong way. But ultimately, you know, you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes, you know, and that's really what I want to concentrate on this video. You know, I did some legs, chest, back, and some shoulders here, but I want to just talk about the fact that, you know, when you're training in life or when you're doing anything in life, really, you learn more from your mistakes, because what those mistakes are they're a call to action. They're basically calling you to grow in your awareness in one aspect or another. You know, the other night I was driving home from the gym, ironically enough, and there was these three punk-like kids. You know, they're probably only 13, 14 years old, and I'm driving down the street, and then they decide to step out in front of my car and say that, oh, I'm supposed to stop, even though they've only gave me 10 feet to stop, you know, even though because they just are assuming that they have the right of way in every single situation. And of course I stopped the car and talked to them, and turns out one of the guys had already been hit by a car. And I say, well, no wonder. I mean, you just can't just jump up in front of a car and then expect the car to stop because it's supposed to be your right of way. You know, if you're not at a crosswalk and you're on a dark alley type street somewhere, you know, you're not supposed to just step out in front of a car. But this is what we do with training. This is what we do with a lot of aspects of our life. We're unaware, and we try to impose our ideal on a situation instead of actually being aware of what's really happening. And this is extremely important when it comes to training. And out there right now on YouTube and on the internet, there's a lot of idealists out there saying this is the way things should be, but they're not actually paying attention to what's really happening in their body. They're not always doing so, okay? So one person might be squatting to the floor and it's just fine for them. Their awareness is showing them that is the perfect thing, and another person, it's not, you know? So ultimately what I'm saying to you is you will notice that you will make mistakes, and perhaps you'll tweak things, or perhaps you don't get results for periods of time. But understand, this is just a call to action to build more awareness. And see, my legs, you know, grew well from the way I squat, but some people out there will say I'm an idiot because I squat that way. So ultimately, it's up to you to trust your own awareness and to build upon that. It's not up to you to fall in alignment with the rest of the sheep or the rest of the idealists out there and find your way, okay? So on that note, I also want to talk a little bit about a few people I've been talking to in the gym and things, and I could see that, you know, there's this tremendous amount of pressure for everybody to get the results today. You know, a lot of people that train, I mean, I was the same way when I was 14 years old. I'd be reading bodybuilding magazines and saying, wow, I want to be like Rich Gasperi and Mike Quinn and Lee Haney, all these guys that were the big guys at that time, you know. And, you know, you come out of a movie theater after watching Conan or you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme or something. You're like, oh, I just want to look awesome right now. I want to be the best ever. But ultimately, rushing the process doesn't necessarily help you. If anything, if it shuts down your awareness, if you just, you know, pile drive yourself through every single thing and just ignore what your body's telling you, you know, you possibly will sideline your training results because you may get injured or you may screw yourself up in some way or another. So ultimately what I'm saying to you is learn to enjoy what you are doing. Learn to enjoy everything about the gym, just like I'm doing the reverse hyper right now. You know, I'm Superman. See, I'm enjoying the fact that I'm a superhero in this moment, rehabbing my lower back, getting that lower back stronger, learning to fire the hamstrings at the same time as feeling my lower back, you know. It's not about a competition. You know, I talk to guys, especially the younger guys, all the time in the gym, and if they don't have the right bicep vein or they don't have the right reps or the right, 1 rep max or PR or something that day. They get so frustrated, and you could just see that the frustration, the emotional pain around it is actually just drawing the life force right out of them. And I was talking to one guy the other day, and I just said, if you let this frustration get a hold of you too badly, at some point you'll quit training, or you'll push yourself into making a decision that isn't necessarily positive for your health. You'll either push way too hard into heavy weights just because you're pissed off about, things not going your way, or, you might go down to the other path where, people start medicating in order to get results right away and not really thinking about 20, 30 years down the road. So ultimately, you have to learn to enjoy this process. There's so many times where people look so great in the gym. I see people look so great, and then they're actually destroying themselves when they look in the mirror. They look in the mirror and they're like, oh, I don't look good, or I'm not strong enough, or I need to be better. And this is just getting caught in the future. When you get caught in thinking about the future, you never enjoy what's going on right now. And ultimately, we're all going in the dirt one day. We're all going to be old one day. We're all going to be done this training thing one day. So why not enjoy the process as you go about it? Here I'm showing you real time. I'm showing you my warm-up real time. I go from the 40s right to the 60s or 70s or whatever, 60s I think. And then I basically just warm up right away, and then I go into the heavier weights. And I always recommend you take 2 or 3 warm-ups, depending on how you feel, of nice and lightweight, and just stretch through and get that blood going in that area. But see, I'm enjoying this. I actually enjoy my warm-ups. Some people look at warm-ups as a waste of time. They look at it as, oh, well, I just want to get my workout. I want to get right into the heavy weight right away. I want to do this. Yeah, get me on the bench, But ultimately, I enjoy the stretch. I enjoy the contraction of the muscle. I enjoy just the feeling of getting the blood flow in there and the pump, And any of you out there that have dealt with a serious injury, know this very well. And I know you guys are going to, smile to yourselves when I tell you this. But if you've ever had a major injury where you couldn't train at all for a period of a month or two, or maybe even longer, and then you finally get back in the gym, you start to really appreciate the little things, So those injuries or those layoffs from the gym sometimes can be a big blessing for you, because it starts to really point your awareness towards enjoying the moment, really enjoying this. And if you can do this, what will happen is you will not only increase your ability to concentrate, but your experience of the moment will increase. You'll actually learn to experience each moment in different levels. It's kind of like learning how to flex muscles. Lots of times you'll train back for years, and then finally one day you can really feel your lats. This is the same thing. When you concentrate on the moment, when you concentrate on being here and appreciating what's here, what will happen is that your awareness of here will deepen, and some pretty psychedelic things can happen. And this is, teaching from the meditation point of view. But the fact is meditation, working out, it's all really the same thing. It's about accepting pain, and it's about accepting this moment as it is and letting go of anything that's causing artificial pain. Okay? So you ignoring this moment actually causes you more pain than being here in the moment. And one way of ignoring this moment is by thinking about the future of where your goals are going to lead to, where you're going to get to. I know there's this Arnold Schwarzenegger, video going around, motivation about where you're going to go, where you're going to go, where you're going to go. Ultimately, if you take care of right here, you'll end up wherever you're going to end up. Take care of here. Right now, I'm taking care of here. I'm squeezing the lats. I'm pulling to my waist. I want to squeeze that back, right? Short ranges of motion. I'm never locking the arms. See, I'm showing you not to lock the arms there, because locking the arms kills the elbows, kills the shoulder, and actually takes the tension off the muscle. Okay? So basically what you're doing is you're developing a relationship with the now, with the body. You're bringing the body here, you're bringing your mind here, and only through concentration on here can you take care of any goals, can you take care of any aspirations. And as this awareness grows, you'll start to realize that it's quite unconditional. Your happiness, your fulfillment, your energy, your awareness, it's all here. Everything you need is always here, okay? So don't look so much to the future about what you don't have. Don't look so much to, whatever causes you frustration, because if you concentrate on here, if you take care of here, everything else will take care of itself. That's really the point, And the funny thing is, the one guy that I was talking to that was really frustrated a few months ago, he was just obsessing about how he didn't look good enough. And right here you can see I'm just squeezing some lats here. I'm just pumping short reps just to get that extra squeeze, right? And, ultimately this one guy that I was talking about, he was really frustrated with his training, and I just talked to him and just said, just let go of your frustration and just train. Just forget about that. Just forget about your idealism. Just let it all go. And now he's actually looking better than ever, because he's not wasting all that emotional energy when he's in the gym on obsessing about what he doesn't have. He's just taking care of business, just looking what he's got to do and just doing it, and just developing a relationship with this moment and with the exercises, you know. That's the best advice I can give anybody on this path, you know, because the big devil of this path, or the big detriment to most bodybuilders or athletes, is that they think about the future and not think about what they're doing right here. So this is the final exercise. I'm just doing some lateral raises, just getting a pump, and I've got my Cosmic Shakti shirt on, and you can get that in my shop too if you want. And ultimately, Cosmic Shakti is the energy that propels you. It moves you. It's an energy that drives you, okay? I need some power in order to lift those arms like that. That's energy. It's just energy. So Cosmic Shakti is the raw energy itself. So yeah, get one of those t-shirts. Maybe you'll get some energy. Or maybe not. But anyway, you know, I hope this helps you on your training journey, and make sure you sign up for the newsletter. I got the link down below. Just click on Show More and you'll see the link for the Natural Gallant Bodybuilding newsletter. That way I can let you know when I get the latest MP3s and different uploads and updates and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, and take care for now.
Do it your way.
Now you know my name, calling me in a drought. I came to Ridge in 215 and sorted it all out.